Hello everybody and welcome. I'm going to be showing you some of my favorite albums, well, the albums that I do own, and that was a little hint. Now it's not all the albums I love, and there are more that I wish I had. I got what I got, and yeah. So I'm going to start with whatever's on top. I just grabbed it from my shelf. I was like, you know what? I'm going to show off the albums that I really enjoy. Well, the ones that I own. I don't know. I've thrifted a lot of these. I've purchased these online at random places, but and also a lot of these are gifts as well. So it's a good mix of stuff that I've purchased and I've also gotten from people and thrifted and stuff. So might as well start with the top one, which it sits here, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't really care for this album. It's Foo Fighters, what is it even called? But Here We Are. It's their most recent album as of now, as of 2023. To be honest, I don't remember any of these except for The Teacher and Rest. I enjoyed those songs. And why I really love The Teacher is because, first of all, the song itself is very beautiful and so, I don't know, man. If you know, you know. This album is very poorly mixed. I wish this album was much more seen over and whatever, because it's too much high end. Too much high end. It's so bad for the ears to listen to. It's ear damage, the album. That's how I describe it, because I do have ear damage, but not to the extent of Dave Grohl, I guess. I mean, yeah. If you see the way he plays and he doesn't wear ear protection, yeah. But then the next one I have, this was one that I thrifted. Ride the Lightning by Metallica. I really love this album. It has a lot of good ones. It starts really strong with Fight Fire with Fire, to then going right into Ride the Lightning and For Whom the Bell Tolls, which is one of the biggest songs that they've released. And then one of my favorites, Fade to Black. That was, oh man. It's just like all of these songs are so good. I love it so much just because, like, okay, I love a lot of these other albums like Master of Puppets and Justice for All. Is that? Yeah, I'm coming to a blink of these albums, even though I really love these. But I really love it. I think this is probably one of my favorite albums by them. This or Master of Puppets. I know a lot of people will always say that Master of Puppets is way better, and it really is in a lot of ways, but it still doesn't like disregard this album. This album is very, very good, and I love it a lot. Though this case is very scratchy. I don't know if I can really you can see from this, it's very dirty and very scratchy. So yeah, it's definitely thrifted, and it's not in the greatest condition when it comes to the case. I mean, the CD's fine. It's just, yeah. Another one of my favorite albums. This is probably my favorite. I wouldn't say it's new metal. It really isn't. But it's a mixture of rap and rock. It's Evil Empire by Rage Against the Machine. It's my favorite album by theirs. Like, I love Renegades of Funk. Or is that even the title of the album? I know that's its song. Anyways, the cover album. And also, What Is Going On With Me? I know the album name. Of course, it's just their name. Okay, it's just Rage Against the Machine. Anyways, this album, it's their best. The Battle of Los Angeles doesn't even come close to this. Don't even argue. You know I am right. You know I'm right. The guitar, dude, a lot of these things don't even sound like a guitar, and it's like done in the most clever and most innovative way. Like, you didn't have Rage Against the Machine until you had Rage Against the Machine. Nobody sounded like them, especially with Tom Morello. Tom Morello and Zach, they are such a good combination together. And I love the drumming on this album. It's like, I don't think he's the greatest drummer when it comes to playing live, because he does slow down a lot. But his actual playing on albums they're so good. He's such a good drummer. But then the next one we got here is Brand New Eyes by Paramore. Now, I haven't unwrapped this. This was actually a gift from my ex, and it's a very nice gift. I'm really glad they gifted this to me. They got me into Paramore, and I really love this album still. I mean, it doesn't come close to This Is Why. This Is Why, just, it's their best album yet. They outdid themselves. And like even After Laughter is one of their best albums. But this also just, I love it a lot. There's a lot of good songs on this. But then next one, now it may be one of my least favorite albums by this band, but it's still a very good one. It's Steal This Album by System of a Down. I think there are a lot of good moments in this, but it also is held back by a lot of moments that really didn't need to be on the album. Now you can still see the Value Village sticker on here. Like a lot of these, I don't even remove the sticker or any of the wrapping just because, well, I don't use a CD player yet, but I want to, when I get my own car and stuff, just play a lot of CDs. I mean, I'm going to be using my phone, but there's something so cool about using CDs or even vinyl, which I only have a few. But after that is their even better album. It's Toxicity. It's possibly the best metal album that I know of. When I think of metal, Toxicity by System of a Down is the first thing I think of. That and Slipknot, but it's like, Slipknot does not come close to this. It's all I need is their debut album, System of a Down, and also Hypnotize. Hypnotize is very good. Is that the... Okay. It's just I always forget which one is which, and I think Hypnotize is the one I'm thinking of. Never mind, I'm thinking of Mesmerize. It's annoying that they did that, because Mesmerize and Hypnotize, it's dumb, but Mesmerize, I want that. I mean, if I also happen to find Hypnotize, I'm going to grab that, of course, but it's like, yeah, dumb, stupid stuff. All right. Now, the next one is Kid A, Radiohead. I always go back and forth between if this or In Rainbows is my favorite album by them, but it always comes down to this being my favorite because there's just one song in Rainbows that I think ruined the flow a little bit. It's Fas Arp. That song, as I continued the song, it's very good, but I don't like the placing of that album or that song in the album. But this, I think, is a perfect album. Like, I say that for a few I say that for a couple or maybe a few albums, and this just happens to be one of them. Everything in its right place is such an incredible song. I love it so much. But then it goes to Kid A, which is a nice follow-up, but the national anthem, that's one of my favorite songs in the entire world. But then it goes from that to How to Disappear Completely to Tree Fingers, which is such a beautiful ambient track, which it's one of my favorite ambient songs. The production on that song is very good. And then Optimistic is very good. My favorite part of this song is the end when the drums get even tighter and oh, that's not how the bass line goes, but you get the idea. And just like everything else in this is very beautiful, especially motion picture soundtrack. That's one that I think everybody talks about when it comes to beautiful songs by Radiohead. But then, yeah, Idiotech, I love that song so much. But then we get the combined version of Kid A and Amnesiac, which is Kid Amnesiac. And on the backside, you get the Amnesiac album cover. You just flip it over, boom. Now this one, okay, funny story between these two of me getting these. So around, Christmas 2022, my mom got me this and, spoiler alert, computer. Okay, computer, yeah. But she got me this, and I didn't know it yet because, Christmas gifts. But before that, I went with my brothers to go places, and we ended up at Barnes and Noble, which is a bookstore, but they also got a good selection of music. And so I decided to get myself System of a Down, Toxicity, and Kid A by Radiohead. And so I was showing them these two. I'm like, man, this is just so cool. And my mom's like, oh, no. I was skeptical. I was like, oh, does that mean she got me Kid A? Which, yes, she did, but thankfully it was a completely different version, which was Kid Amnesiac, so I have no reason to get rid of it. Yeah, it's just very cool. But then, spoiler alert, Computer is, I love this album, but it's not my favorite Radiohead album. I know. Don't throw whatever, daggers, whatever it is. Just don't throw anything at me. I'm allowed to have my opinions. What's that? I can't have opinions? Fine, man. Fine, this is the best Radiohead album to ever exist. Nothing is even better than this. I really don't believe that, man. I mean, it's got like the best lineup of songs. It goes from Airbag to Paranoid Android to Subterranean Homesick Alien to Exit Music for a Film, Let Down, Karma Police, which I think Electioneering I do skip just because the intro I really hate. I know. It's there's some songs where the intro is not one I like, but the rest of this song is so good. I just wish I could sit through the intro a lot better or a lot easier. I don't know. Something about it. The tambourine kind of like a fence gate. But then it goes to Climbing Up the Walls, which is probably one of my favorite songs off this album. And then there's No Surprises, which everybody knows nowadays, but Paranoid Android, Exit Music for a Film, and Climbing Up the Walls are some of the best Radiohead songs to ever exist. Subterranean Homesick Alien it's like the sound of what Coldplay ended up going for the first couple albums. I think that song is a little bit too long. Yes. Yep. I think it is. And yeah, but even with all of these little stuff, also, I never finish Lucky or The Tourist. I know. I'm the biggest I'm the biggest Radiohead like fake fan there is. I love In Rainbows and Kid A more than OK Computer. And there's songs I don't like off one of the best albums to ever exist in the world. I know. Here's a change of pace. We go from Radiohead to Linkin Park. Hey. This is probably my favorite nu metal album. Well, okay. I guess technically System of a Down is nu metal, so there's that. But if we disregard System of a Down, this is my favorite nu metal album. Although there's Deftones. So no, disregard that. It's one of my favorites. One of my favorites. Okay. I know it's like it. I guess it shouldn't be what a lot of people would think, I guess, but I love the whole track list. I think it doesn't have a single miss, unless we're talking about the deluxe edition, which this is not the deluxe, so it ends up pushing me away, which I think this whole track listing is so good. I think it probably is just a personal bias, even though I didn't grow up on Linkin Park until middle school, around there, which for me that does entail that I listened to them after Chester's passing, so a lot of people are going to think of this as a sin. What? I know, but this is one of my favorite albums. It's just Paper Cut, one step closer. Like, oh my gosh, With You is, I know a lot of people will disagree, but With You is probably the best song on this album. It's so good. It's like the guitar tone is perfect on that. They just do something so perfectly on this album that a lot of bands, I feel like, don't do. I mean, nowadays it would be outdated, and You can definitely hear that with with the synths and the a lot of the DJ sound effects that go on. But even with that, I love it a lot. Now this one has very much shrunken on me as time has gone on, but I still really love it just because they were one of my favorite bands for a while. This is Major / Minor by Thrice. I love Thrice a lot, even though I've grown to dislike their music as time has gone on, which, I don't know. There are definitely misses on this album, like Shredding Paper, Call It in the Air. Blur's okay, but it's like Disarmed. There's nothing going on in that song, but it's like it starts with Yellow Belly, which is such a good rock song. Hard rock song is so good. And then Promises, which I was going to be playing for my talent show, but they canceled the talent show, so I was going to play drums, and I could do that perfectly. I'm not even like tooting my own horn, which I am, but like, you know, I could play it like note to note. But of course, it got canceled, so I couldn't even live up that one hope and dream I had, which I did play my freshman year, but you know, I improved a lot from then, so you know. But then there's Cataracts, which I love it a lot. I love that song. And then Words in the Water, Listen Through Me, and Anthology are also really good songs. Listen Through Me, I know to most people is actually, and I can see why, is not that good of a song. It's just, it scratches that little itch I have for whatever reason. It's just one of those itches that just gets scratched, even though I can tell that it's not really that great. It's just one of those songs of all time. Yeah. No, I really love this album, even if there's a lot of mistakes, and I don't know. Now, I wish I could finish have more of these albums by this artist, but you know, I got what I got, and that's fine. Do I need to say more? Oh yeah. This is Good Kid, Mad City by Kendrick Lamar. The storytelling in this is impeccable. It's so good. I don't know how his mind works the way it does, because it's so good. Start to finish, it's this very incredible story. If I were to recommend any rap album, it would be this. This would be the first rap album I would recommend to anybody. Though the one song I do think is a bit annoying is Poetic Justice by featuring Drake. That song, I really hate the sampling of like the female singing, you could do anything. But then this is also the deluxe version, so this has the recipe, which is very good. That's the only song I have really cared to go back to for the bonus tracks. If I were to say one of my favorite songs on this, some of my favorite are Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe, Backseat Freestyle, and then The Art of Pure Pressure it's so good. I just love this album way too much, and I saved it. Oh, okay. I'm placing that down. I love that album. Very good. Okay, let's move on. Now, this is Vessel by 21 Pilots. Now, ever since Trench by them released, I definitely have still continued to love their music, but once Trench came out and I knew about so much more music, it's like the rest of their discography, yes, I still loved a lot of it. It's just with knowing how much what they can do when it comes to music, it's like such a letdown to come back to some of these songs, like House of Gold, Car Radio. There's good moments in this, mainly just like the last half with the dance section to the screaming part, you know. But then Screen and 3 in a row. Semi-automatic, it's fine. I don't mind it too much. But then we go to Screen and the Run and Go. Those songs are awful. With Fake You Out being an alright dance song, but it's like, as I've continued to revisit it, I've disliked it each time I come back to it, even though I still overall enjoy it. But then we get 3 incredible songs. So it's like, if this album was just an EP of Ode to Sleep, Holding On to You, Migraine, Guns for Hands, Trees, and Truce, I think this would probably be a 9 or an actual 10. Like, unironically, I think that would be the case. But we got a lot of filler in this, especially with Semi-Automatic, Screen, and the Run and Go. Yeah, but yeah, Truce is very fun to play on piano. Trees is fun. Trees, Guns for Hands. Literally most of these are fun to play on drums. It's just, yeah. Also, if you're wondering why the album cover is like this, if you flip it inside out, that's what you can do with this. Yeah. But then we get the lesser album, even though it's the more popular one, the one that got them really on the map to be a big name, Blurry Face. Now, I have all the albums that I can get, which means that I don't have self-titled or regional at best, which I don't even care to have regional at best. Even I would probably have gotten it just to complete the whole set, but it's like, it's not a good album, okay? But this album, it's really messy. It's really messy. I really like the trio of Heavy Dirty Soul, Stressed Out, Ride, back to back to back. That's a very good thing when it comes to this album. But then it gets really ruined with Fairly Local. That song is really bad. Yeah. There's nothing going on in that song that's interesting. I mean, at the first moment, until the instrumental before the lyrics come in, it's like, man, it was a good beat, but then it just gets completely run down. It's like this album, or that song could have been so much better. Tear in My Heart, it's a fun pop rock song, but it's like, there's more that could be done with that, and I feel like it's the best part is the chorus with the drums going, you know, and then, I mean, the middle section's alright. It's just that I feel like, I don't know, could have done something different. But then we go to Lane Boy, which is alright. The thing that ruins the song is the part with a very annoying that synth going on is annoying. It's so bad sounding. But then at the end we get the like drum solo breakbeat kind of moment going on, which is alright. But it's too chopped up to sound like a organic drum solo. So that's my dislike for that song. But then we go to The Judge, which is a song it was one of my favorite songs for a while by them. But then, yeah, as time has gone on, it's gone down, though I still really love the organ section. I'm not good with the, I don't remember the lyrics, man. I should with how much I've listened, but you know, it's gone out of my head, you know. Doubt was alright. Polarize, it's very dubstep inspired, but it's alright. We Don't Believe What's on TV, horrible, awful song. I don't like that. I don't know why it's so popular. There's not really anything in that song I really like at all. Yeah, it doesn't really do much. Like, the mixing on this album could have been so much better. Some songs are very well mixed. I think Heavy Dirty Soul, Stressed Out, Message Man, and even Hometown are very good when it comes to the mixing. But Ride is not well mixed. I think Goner is not well mixed. Message Man is one of the best songs on this album. It's so good. Hometown, is ruined by the verses. The verses, it sounds so bad. It sounds even worse than my singing that I was doing right there. I know. How can it get worse than mine? I don't know. But it's like the drop and like the pre-chorus is so good. It's such a good dance song if it removed the verses or did something different. That's what makes me not want to listen to this song, even though the drop is so good. But then we get Not Today. Who likes Not Today? That song is so bad. Oh my god. No, I didn't mean to hurt you. When I play the piano, doesn't mean I'm not willing to take you down. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't actually mean to be rude. Yeah, I'm being annoying because this is annoying. Okay, I dislike this. Okay, not the entire album, but a lot about it. It's very mid. It's such a mid album. Oh my god. I got it to complete the cycle, like not the cycle, but the whole thing. Yeah, and then Goner's alright. It's ruined by the mixing. Now here's an album that I really, really, really love. Trench. Now if I slide it out, which, you know, it's got this beautiful cover art of, you know, it's so beautiful, man. Of the vulture with all these flowers going on, and like the back is so beautiful, but it's also the same as this, which is fine by me. I don't mind, but it's like, this is so cool. It's like the fact that it slides in and everything is so, oh my god. Like, not only is the album so top notch and the production is the best you'll ever hear 21 Pilots, unless this next album does this or even better, but like, oh my god, the disc is so beautiful. I will forever miss the Trench era of 21 Pilots just because it was the best thing to come out of this band. The feeling of this is so cool. Sadly, it was at some point used for a coffee mug. I mean, there's no coffee stains. It's just like a little circle of, you know, of it being a little bit moist or hot. It's still there, and it annoys me. I probably could have cleaned it. I don't know. I was a kid. I didn't know anything about cleaning. But then, which I will talk about this album, but only when I show this. The Japanese version, which I got earlier this year. It's on eBay, you know. It's so everything on the back is in Japanese. Let me see. Will it focus? So you see, so the track listing, right? I don't want to hit my mic. Right here. Yeah, this is the track listing. So it goes, yeah, the whole track listing. So number 1, Jumpsuit, Levitate, Morph, My Blood, all of that. It's like, it's so cool how it's not in English, which is funny to say probably, or to hear. It's just, I'm not going to unwrap it because I just think it's so cool. I mean, on the front, it does have the English words, just like everything, like under Trench, the English, you know, titles. It's just, this album not only is produced so well, but the singing actually is so much more believable. Once I heard this, hearing stuff like, oh my god, a lot of the singing on Blurry Face and Vessel, and especially the first 2 albums, self-titled and regional, it made me really realize how unbelievable his singing really is. It's like, just by listening to Jumpsuit, you can tell how much more believable his singing is. There are a lot of songs that I do think his singing is believable on the previous records, but it doesn't come close to Trench whatsoever. Like, Jumpsuit, like I said, is maybe I didn't say it. I was talking about it for a moment, but like, it's the perfect song to start being like, bitch, I'm back. And yes, I'm copying Brad right there, Brad Taste, because I was one of those people. Okay, I would just like watch him a lot, and I still do, cause you know I'm a nerd. But like, Levitate is one of the best produced rap songs I've ever heard. It not only is the rapping so cool, and it, I don't know, just makes it feel like one continuous rap rather than just like sections, even though it is sections where, you know, there's like kind of like a chorus, which first of all, the transition from Jumpsuit to Levitate is very good, but then Morph is such a good synth pop song. It's so good. My Blood though is a step down just because the intro and the outro is way too long for no reason. I would just wish that they cut that for the actual song, because it leads nowhere. I mean, it does lead into the actual song itself, but I think it's just a waste of time. But then Chlorine is also a very, very catchy song. But then when it goes to that ambient section, which is so good, I don't catch me off the speed, I shall meet. It's just so good. I love it. But then Smithereens is a step down. I feel like it should have been an extra song, a bonus song, for like, you know, a month, half a month later, or not half a month, like 6 months later or a year later after the album was released, you know, because it does, you know, it doesn't really feel like it belongs on the album. It's a sweet song, yes, but it feels like it doesn't belong on the album. But Neon Gravestones, on the other hand, does feel like it belongs here. And I love it for that. And just like the realness in how he is saying everything and what he is saying. It's like one of the best songs lyrically that he's ever put out. Now, there's a lot of lyrics that I really like throughout their whole discography, but it's like, this is a whole step further, because on the surface level, it's so incredible, and like the messaging in this, the message in a lot of these songs are very good. But then to layer that with a story being told, be like inside these lyrics, inside these songs, is another. And like all of these, like, I want to say double entendres, even though they're not, they probably aren't. It's just like this, so many layers. I just like the word, like the phrasing, or like I like the phrase double entendre, and I always wanted to say it somewhere in a video, and here I am. Although here, wait, let me go back, let me find it. Double entendre. There we go. I said it. Yeah, I'm special. But then like everything else in this song, in this album, the hype, Nico and the Niners is I love that song. Like the best use of ukulele to ever be done in a 21 Pilots song so far. But then Cut My Lip is definitely a slow song that I do not care for, just because it's too slow. It's too slow for what I want from 21 Pilots. But then we go to Bandito. Bandito is a very good song, and I love how it feels long. Like it feels longer than it actually is. And usually you would think that it's not a bad thing, but no, I think the way that it does itself, of like building this whole song, is so good. And the main, like the big climactic moment, you know, it's just so good. Pet Cheetah is also a very good song. I love how they experiment with the Pet Cheetah, Pet Cheetah, and then Legend being a very sweet song for his grandpa that passed before the song was even fully out. And then Leave the City, which is a very good closure. It feels like the credits to the album, and it makes me so upset for this next album, Scaled and Icy. What is this? Huh? There's good songs in this. Don't get me wrong. There's good songs in this. But is there? No, there are. There's Redecorate, No Chances, Good Day, and Shy Away. But then we get songs like Bounce Man. What is Bounce Man? Man, that is the worst sounding song they've ever put out. like no joke, it is ugly. And then we get Formidable, which is a boring pop song about their daughter. I forget their name, but like, you know, it's very boring. But you know, I never come back to it anyways, so it doesn't come to my mind ever. Mulberry Street is actually a fun song. It's ruined by the piano section, just because it's directly for the live stream, like full experience, which just it does not fit here at all, because it is not the live stream experience. We're not on a whole adventure. It's dumb. Never Take It is really bad. I do not care to listen to that song ever. I'm never gonna be listening to it. I mean, there's some times where I'm like, I'll listen to the whole album to relearn why I hated it. Yeah. Saturday is an alright pop song. It's groovy, but it's also not the best they've done. The Outside is very groovy, but it's done purposely for the lore of this album, you know. No, it's a good song. It's alright. Shy Away is a fun pop punk-ish, you know, song in the album. It's very catchy, and I love the live stream version of all these songs so much more. Well, Redecorate didn't really have a good chance, but yeah. Choker needs the production needs so much more work than what was done in this full release. Good Day is a good opener, and I went backwards, but it's just because, you know, the best song is last, and the middle section of this album is very boring, and I wish it was improved upon before releasing. Now we get an album that I do enjoy, but not fully through. Vessel. Not 21 Pilots Vessel, but Overwork Vessel. Now this album is very good, though I do feel as though it definitely didn't have the best track listing. I think Bridge and Sense are not that good songs at all. Pictures and Beyond were like the perfect singles for this album. They're very good. Beyond being my favorite song on the album, just because it is the best song if you listen to it. But then Resonate is literally just reflect alt off of Altered State, which that's another thing. I wish I had State, but it's not in stock, so I can't get it. But that or Altered State, either or, even though State I do think is better. But you know, there's a lot of good songs off of the remix version of the album. Yeah. It's not the best album. It's definitely got some misses like Bridge and Sense. But, you know, overall I think it does a good thing. Or like a good, you know, it's good. I like it. Now this one is rare. This is N. Now it's the 9th Hour by Overwork. Now this one is very rare because nobody's gonna be able to buy this. Maybe at some point, but like this, I won in a giveaway. Official Overwork giveaway. I won this in, and I still can't believe it just because it's so bizarre. Like I never win giveaways. I mean I've won like one, but it was like, you know, because I talked well about this the person, you know. It's funny how it worked because they definitely picked me just because I talked good about their stuff. It's the way of the world, I guess. But this just feels so much different. And as it's not the best mixed album, I do think that a lot of the ideas that are in this album are very good. I do like it a lot. Now, I haven't listened to it enough to be able to spot which song is which, but I really do think it's a good album. Though I do recommend State as a much more complete album. That or Canon EP, that's a very good one as well. Virtue is probably the best thing he's ever put out this far. I think it's a 20-minute adventure, and I do recommend listening to the full thing if you're into dance music and also orchestral music, because it mixes the both very well. enough about that. Let's get to such a good album. You could I want you to guess what this album is, because you can see right here what it might be. We're still on the topic of dance music, well, it's more just electronic music in general. Nurture by Porter Robinson. I love this so much more than Worlds. At first, I thought Worlds was better in some cases, but after re-listening to Worlds a few more times after this was out, I was like, not fully, but it's still Worlds I still really, really love and has a lot of good songs. But this, I think, is a much better album. Like, life like, this is what your life like. And I become ape when I talk about this. It's the intro to this album, and it feels like you're opening feels like you're opening up like a little fantasy children book of like all of this magical stuff that's about to happen, because it does feel like that. And then it goes into Look at the Sky, which is such an incredible song, not just like production wise and everything about it. Like, it's like the lyrics itself is one thing I really love about it, because as much as I love his production and everything, I also really love his writing when it comes to lyrics. Look at the Sky is one of the best songs off of this album. Right after that, we get Your Wish, which Get Your Wish, I did get my wish by, oh yeah, by the way, this is also another Christmas gift of 2022 Christmas. That and Major Minor by Thrice. Just wanted to point that out there, because you know, why not? Get Your Wish is a very good song. I love it production wise. Wind Tempos, I've grown to really like that a lot more. I still do find during the piano ballad section, blum 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 blum, where in the high end you can hear that tss, tss, like every time a key is pressed, like not a keyboard, like a computer keyboard, like tick, 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 tick. I'm talking about like the click for every time that a piano thing is played, and it's done purposely, but I do not like that because it is done purposely. I think it's bad because it's annoying to the ears, man. Everything about the song I do really love other than that. But Musician is probably one of the best songs on this album. I know I said Look at the Sky is, but it's a mix between, like, my favorites on this album are Look at the Sky, Musician, Something Comforting, and Unfold, with totally enormous extinct dinosaurs. Do re mi fa sol la ti do. I didn't go in choir, so there's that. But that song, that and Dulci's Scythe these are not my favorite songs. They're some of my least favorite songs on the album. Well, Dulcith is mainly because it builds up to nothing. I'm sure he did think to either have a drop or not, but like, I think it was a dumb decision to not add a drop to that. Mother is a very good song. That and Sweet Time, I love those two a lot. Mirror is a very good song about like reflecting on himself and really taking a deeper look at himself. Something Comforting, one of the best drops I've ever heard. Blossom is a sweet song about I think they got married already, maybe not, maybe they're still engaged, but Porter and I forget her name, but his wife, whatever, his significant other, whatever, anyways, that. And then Unfold is one of my favorite albums. It's oh my god, Unfold. It just, when it comes to the point to where it's the distorted vocals and just that and that synth. In the water, I see the waters unfold. It's a feeling I want you to know. One of my favorite songs ever. And I've said that I'm saying that about a lot of these songs, because a lot of these are my favorite albums of all time. So I keep on pointing out my favorite songs because they are my favorite songs. And then Trying to Feel Alive is actually, I'm glad that it has grown on me over time, because at first it did feel like a bit of a lackluster song, but it really isn't. It's a very good closure to the song, or to the album itself. I very much love it. But then The Making of a Paracosm. I keep on saying this about all of my electronic albums, but this is by far the most authentic in a way. Something about Casbo's sound design is so good. With The Making of a Paracosm, the song itself is a very, very good opener. It just starts perfectly. I feel like Play Pretend is very fun, but then we go to Shut the World Out. It's the most popular song on the album for good reason. It is unironically one of the best sounding songs I've heard. Production wise, it's perfect. All of the drops are so good in this, and oh my god. But then we get Blur, which there's some of these songs that I do think do actually slow down the album a little bit, but even still, I think that it's very good. The interlude, Augusty 519, is very good. Part of me wishes it was longer and it was a more fleshed out, full-on song. But the other part of me is really glad it's an interlude, and it's one of my favorite interludes of all time. And then Vitra is very good. Same with Loon and Skogsra. I can't speak. Beside Shut the World Out, Show You, that vocal, I know how to love. Show you, I can show you what to say, or whatever it says. Oh man, it's one of my favorite in all of these albums. There's one of my favorite of something, one of my favorite of this, of that. It's one of my favorite vocals in all of electronic music. You know what's in my hand? Well, both of my hands. No, it's not that. It's this. We got Daft Punk, Random Access Memories. Yeah, baby. This is one of my favorite. I'm saying this about all of them, okay? I don't care. It's like I'm getting my favorite albums right here. Just like, how else am I supposed to help myself by? Yeah, I did get quite a few CDs for Christmas, and I'm glad about it, because it just this. If you haven't listened to Daft Punk, I would say start with this album. This album is so good. And then go to Discovery. These two albums, yeah, this album is something different. I'm gonna move on. I can't stop talking about it. Also, Doing It Right. I don't think it should be on the album itself, but Contact is the best send off of an album that they've done, in my opinion. I think Too Long. Really, it's in the title. It is too long. It's the point of that album, or that song, but even still. But then we got, well, 1 does not equal 2 by Deadmau5. Now this is one I thrifted, and it was a very lucky find. I found this at Value Village, and it's this and Hybrid Theory are two of my favorite finds. I love the piano ballads on this, of the 7 Deadly Sins. I don't know if it covered all of them, did it? I don't remember, but one of my favorite songs on this is Mercedes. It's fun to listen to, and my friend really loves it a lot as well, at least from what I could pick up. I love his production style and how he produces things, because Joel, he's very specific on what he wants, and he's very opinionated, which sometimes makes me annoyed at him, which you might be like, you don't want him to share his opinions. It's like, I share my opinions, people share their opinions, and there's a reason for that. But it's just like, I don't know. I'm not gonna go on and rant about him. I just think his music is very good, but sometimes he can be annoying when it comes to to how he broadcasts his opinions. That's all I'm gonna say. This one's a very good album, one of their best albums by Muse. This is Black Holes and Revelations. Yes, I had to read the name. I don't think every single song off this album is the best it could be, but I think that a lot of these songs are so good. And of course, Knights of Sidonia being on Guitar Hero and Rock Band. So, you know, it's a classic, and it's one of the best on the album. But I don't know. I would have to give this much more listens. I did thrift this. It isn't my favorite album. Well, I don't really know what a favorite album by them would be. Probably the one with Plug-in Baby. Because I haven't really listened to too much Muse. I just know that a lot of their stuff is really trash now. Especially The Will of the People, The Will of the People, The Will of the Will. From what I remember, it's a very good album. It doesn't top Plug-in Baby. Especially that live performance. The popular one. The first result on YouTube, you know. Yeah, good album. No, it's an alright album. It definitely has a lot of skips. That is true. Yes, it is. It is very true. I still need to get my CD back. I was playing it in my friend's car, and right now it's missing. I don't know where he has it, but he has it somewhere. I think that there's only a few songs on this album that really continued to be bangers, which Flashing Lights just happens to be one of them. It's the best song on the album, I would say myself. There is Good Morning and I Wonder. Ooh, good morning. Good morning. I just think it's a little bit, maybe it's just the version I have. I don't know if there's a deluxe edition, but I think it's a little bit bloated. Not as bloated as Donda. Donda is just, I just wish that I had some other albums like Yeezus or Kids See Ghosts. That would be one to have. Now this one was a recent find. I don't know much about this band. It's called Death Cab for Cutie, but I really liked this album. I haven't listened to anything else by them, but I heard that this is one of their worst albums, which I found very surprising because this was a very good album from what I remember. I really like how it starts with that very fast swing on the right. It's very impressive drumming right there. My arm would die. It's very good. I haven't listened to this one, but it's also another Death Cab for Cutie. I heard this one's one of their best albums. I don't know, but it's here. I do have this one as well. Now, I don't have much to talk about for the Death Cab for Cutie album because I just don't have too much to say about it. But I think it's time to talk about the 3 vinyls that I have. Starting with the first one that I have. And I do actually have this first CD, which you saw earlier. It's not my favorite album by them, but I did cop it. Vessel. This album, I already shared a lot of my thoughts on it. It is still my second favorite album by them, but that doesn't tell too much with how good Trench is. It's just nothing comes close to this yet, or not to this, but to Trench. I still have a soft spot for this album just because middle school me was addicted to 21 Pilots. It's just how it was. But I got 2 albums right here. They both go together, which I'll show the first one that I got rather than the one that was technically made, that was made before it. Volume Beta, Minecraft Volume Beta by C418. Now this doesn't have all the songs on it, which is annoying to me personally because there's some songs that I really love and some of these are just not on this because Stall can be on here, but some of these songs, some of the Nether songs can't be on here. The Nether songs are not my favorite, but there's some songs, it's just something about it is a little bit dumb, but I prefer this one over Volume Alpha. Volume Alpha has a lot of very, very pleasant ambient songs, but this one is my favorite overall, just because Key is a very good song, and then Alpha, which is a very good orchestral mix of a lot of the classics off of the first Volume Alpha, which, as you can tell, I haven't gotten rid of the sticker or the wrapping, which I don't have any reason to, because I don't have a vinyl player. But if I go back to this, I like Blind Spots is also really good. Mutation, Biome Fest, Aria Math, which is the biggest hit from this album. But I personally, Tazwell is my favorite song off of this, so I'm glad that's at least on here. But then there's Beginning 2, which is very nice. Same with Mook City 2, which is just a much better version of Mook City. The reverb and everything adds so much. The end, it's funny that this song was added, because it is 15 minutes, but it's like, to think what could have been on this album rather than the end. One of the best songs off of this, which is Intro. I know I'm not showing it up to the camera, but I'm just saying it. The back, that's what it looks like, with all the songs be down here, split up on with 4 different sides, because there's 2 vinyls in this Volume Beta, but then Volume Alpha. Now this one, I don't know if it has all of the songs. It doesn't have Death, which I'm glad, because that would just be a waste of time. Death is not even a song, it's just on the album list. But this is so cool. It's what it looks like from the back, from the front. Yeah. Starts off with Subwoofer Lullaby, which you can't go wrong with Subwoofer Lullaby. Right into Living Mice, which we got Mook City, which it's not my favorite version of Mook City, but it's still fine. Then we go to Hagstrom, and then Minecraft, and then Clark. And then we go to Mice on Venus, to Dry Hands, Wet Hands, Sweden. To be fair, I think this, like vinyl-wise, this is better than the beta, just because it's got all the good ones on here. Overall, I do like beta as the full thing, but vinyl-wise, I think this is better. Yeah, I really like this. I really do like it, and I'm glad that I have these. C418, I do recommend listening to more than what he has done for Minecraft. Excursions is a very good album. It is a bit lengthy, so if you don't want lengthy, then you can listen to his album 148. 1 is definitely lengthy as well. I mean, I think the one I just mentioned is also lengthy. Never mind what I said, because that one, a lot of these are all just very lengthy, but I like lengthy albums. I like Swans. It's just Excursions is one that I would recommend probably the most. Excursions 1 and 148. Lengthy albums, but very worth it a lot of the time. I mean, there are still some songs that don't fully hit. Most of it is more like electronic. There is a lot of ambient stuff that goes on in all of these albums, but don't expect it to be just the ambient and piano ballads that you hear on Minecraft Volume Alpha. Yeah, I think that's all I gotta say about the albums that I own. There's too many albums. I'm just done. Okay, it's late. I'm tired. Didn't really sleep the last 2 nights, so there's that for you. I just really wanted to record this, and I didn't want to wait another day to do that. Plus, also, yeah, I thought it was an easy video, which it is. It's just I talked a lot more than I thought I might have. So yeah, I'm gonna end the video here. If you guys did enjoy this video, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing. Tell me what you think about my albums, what albums you really love or have, or anything. And yeah, maybe next is my 21, not my 21 Pilots, my Tony Hawk collection, which I have quite a bit of Tony Hawk games. It's not the full thing, but I think I've done very good so far. And it's Vex. See you in the next video. Stay goated.